this video is about a woman that I helped with anxiety and depression, and she suffered with it for years and years and years. And I have worked with her for many, many years, but give her the techniques to actually deal with these things as they come up, and actually stop them things from actually ruling her life. So if you want to know more, stay tuned and watch this interview.
Okay, so I'm here with Angela. Angela, I've been using emotional reset therapy now for probably around about, it's got to be 10 years.
Yeah.
So we've done lots and lots of stuff, and how we describe it is like peeling an onion.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually peel layers and layers and layers of this onion, and it actually becomes easier. Is that right, Angela?
Oh, it definitely is. It's not a nice process when you're actually going through it, but the results are amazing. Well, they've been amazing for me.
So do you want to tell everybody that could be listening about before that 10 years, about how you was feeling then before?
The only way I can look back and think about it now, because obviously I've come quite a way, is I was a very tight person. Lots of emotion going on that I never ever dealt with. And that came forward in my personality, I think, and the different ways I treated people, even myself, not understanding why I was feeling like that is the worst thing, and that's depression. When people say to you, "Oh, pull yourself together," or "Come on, there's people dying in the world," you know that. I had a nice life. I had a good job. I had a lovely family. It didn't matter. Those things didn't make any difference to how you were feeling. And I just couldn't lift myself out of it, and didn't understand why I couldn't lift it. And then one day we were talking, just chatting and whatever, and you mentioned my childhood and different things like that, and little things, asking me about different things in my childhood. And I felt it stir straight away, the same sort of emotions. And we just continued to work on that then, going back to what we call Little Angela. And now, even very recently, we've just done some work on that. And it's exactly like you say, it's like peeling an onion. It's taking layers and layers and layers, and those layers become so compacted. I don't think I'm a million miles from where I was, but I don't think I'm anywhere near where I should be.
Yeah, I think what you were saying is like, it is a lifetime of work of
definitely.
So like my experience is that you could be brilliant for 6 months, and then you will come up against something that will trigger an emotion inside you.
Exactly what's just happened.
Yeah, and then you actually delve to say, right, where's this coming from? What, and it's normally related to something else.
Yes.
And then when you find out what it is, then I experience it as a whoosh or a release.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And then you get the calmness back then, and then you might be all right for another 6 months until you put in a situation where you're triggered again.
Totally. You've taught me on a lot of things how to deal with those things, and sometimes when I get little triggers, I can relate back to things that we've talked about, and I can relate, that's what that's about. Now you know what you need to do, you know how you need to deal with that, but then you come up against things that are new, and I'm battling with them, thinking, why am I feeling like this? Where's this coming from? And that's when I know, when I can't get there, I know this is another layer. This is deeper. This is somewhere else,
Yeah.
But
so just for other people watching that obviously just trying to understand the process that we use, how quick does it work for you when you actually in one of these sessions where you were stuck?
I think you have to be open and you have to be very honest, very, very honest. You have to totally open up. And I think when you're talking to somebody who you're very comfortable with, you can do that. And I know straight away, bang. Because with me, I get this massive rush of emotion. I'm a crier. And I know it'll surge right up to me, and it'll pour out, and then I'm in that zone. I know that that's what it is, because I'm feeling that emotion again, but a much rawer version of it.
So obviously you're saying about releasing the emotion, but also you get an understanding of what it is.
Oh, it's like a yeah, and that's it. For me, that's an instant. That's an instant. You can travel back, and you can think, well, hang on, when did I feel this before? I felt emotion before, but I know it's deeper than that. So I keep going further back, trying to find the first one, layers, the layers. And it's the not dealing with the layers. And we're all very complex, but I think if you don't deal with the layers, that's when you become depressed and anxious and
Yeah. So the recent one that we just done the session, I think that was to do with a belief.
oh, totally.
So I don't think I've covered any beliefs on any of the videos. So which is like is slightly different to a trapped emotion, a childhood trapped emotion. So with a belief, you can remember what
The belief was I've just recently had something go on in my life that made me feel um, worthless. It was it felt a bit like grief. It felt like yeah, worthless. Like I'd given something to somebody or something to someone, and I worked very, very hard on it, and then I was discarded. Then it was like they didn't care. No one cared, and I couldn't get over. I could not move forward from that. How could they do that to me? How could somebody, after me being so good and trying to do everything that I thought was right, and to be basically thrown on a scrap heap? That's how I felt, and that was very hard to move forward, and I couldn't move forward from it, which was making me, well, I felt like crazy, because I tried to analyze and I tried to put things straight, but the anxiety was just getting ridiculous with it because it was getting out of control.
Yeah.
So we were chatting, and Justin asked me, when did I first ever, have I felt like that before? And I said, yes. And he said, when? And I said, many times, but I've managed to overcome it then and get over it. But this one, I could not. It was just stuck there. And I was thinking, why can't I get this right? Because that's what I like to do. I like to settle things and think, right, I can go forward now. I understand it, but I couldn't understand this one. I could not understand it. So we went back, well, I would say peeled some layers and whatever, to the first time I ever felt that. And it was as a child. My parents I was in a very, very aggressive, violent relationship. And then they decided that they were going to get divorced. And the day my dad came to take some belongings, it was, I don't know what the word is, like public. It was we were, as three children with my siblings, we were involved in it. We watched everything. And dad was taking things. My mother was very upset, saying, don't take that. The kids would like that. Don't take that. Don't take that. And my dad went. And I remember crying really badly for him. And he came back and he just said, oh, I'll see you in a couple of days. And he got in the car and I'm screaming, don't go. And he pulled off and I ran after the car, and he never stopped. And I couldn't, that was exactly that feeling of, he didn't care, he didn't love me, you know, but he's my dad, how can he just leave me? And there was very much the feeling that I was feeling a few days ago. And as soon as I got to that with Tristan, whoosh, oh, it all came out. I had a job to speak. Do you know, I was choked, and I knew that was spot on where it was.
Yeah.
And ever since, I've been so much calmer because I understand that that's where it came from. It wasn't really what was happening, but it was what I believed.
Yeah.
But I've been so much calmer, so much more relaxed, understanding now the bigger picture, you know, not the detail and all the rest of why. Now it's just like, well, it's not, that's not really what was going on. That's
Yeah.
not really what's happening.
So what Angela is explaining is that these emotions from childhood are in our system, and then current situations, if they make you feel the same way, it pushes on that emotion, and that whole emotion comes up, and sometimes you might feel like an overreaction to an everyday event, but it's only because it's pushing on an emotion that's trapped inside you.
Yeah.
So by actually figuring out where this emotion comes from, it stops anxiety, depression, and it actually works in an instant.
Yeah.
So I think our chat was 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
20 minutes.
And I was absolutely overawed.
Yeah.
That something that simple that I'd been battling with for probably 2 or 3 weeks was 20 minutes, and it was sort of like, poof. Yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. But I don't think I would have. I think it would have been something else I would have probably suppressed.
Yeah.
And just moved on. And again, when it triggered again, but now we've hit on it. If that happens again, I can think to myself, well, where's this coming from? What am I believing you, you know?
Yeah. What you'll find out, because you actually dealt with the emotion at that level, that you've got nothing to push on. So even if you feel that emotion, because there's nothing to push on, you can actually think, actually, I don't want to think in that way, and you can change your thoughts without having the emotion.
Yeah. So it's taking the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that is
you
exactly
can
it.
still think in the same way. You could still think, oh, I feel like crap, or I feel depressed, or what have you. But then one day you get up and think, actually, I haven't got to think like that, because there's no emotion to back it up.
That's exactly how I've been thinking.
Yeah.
Exactly how I've been thinking. I've been thinking, you know, it again, it's a belief. It's just what I believed was, and like you say, was pushing on it. Now I've released it. It
Yeah.
isn't going to do that again for me. I hope. I'm sure there'll be another one.
Yeah. Well,
But
I
like you
get,
said, it's a process.
it's a
It's a
process.
lifelong process, you
It
know?
is. But as we work on ourselves and actually reprogram, or reset,
Totally.
using the emotional reset therapy, then it just becomes easier, because we get affected by less things. We become
Yeah.
more of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a daughter, and we're very much alike, but she does a lot of work on herself, and she is, in the last 10 years since I met Tristan through work and whatever, she can't believe the difference in me. You know, she often says, God, Mum, you've worked so hard on yourself. You know,
Yeah.
you've worked so hard on yourself. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was somebody telling me I'd been in an accident again, I think.
Well, I think that's the universe saying, probably, is we've come to the end of the video.
Okay.
So we've got to listen to the universe as well.
We certainly have.
So I think you've actually you've give people who's listening, who's obviously suffering with anxiety and depression, a massive look into a way out of it.
There is a way out of it. There definitely is. Believe me, I've felt like I'm knuckle dragging sometimes. You know, nose to the floor, when I started. I've never gone back there.
Yeah.
I've never gone back there. I've had lots of wobbles, lots and lots of wobbles, but learning processes it's been incredible for me, incredible. And I would advocate it to everybody. You've just got to be open and you've got to be honest.
Brilliant. Well, I just want to thank you for your time. I'm just going to push stop. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So if you like these videos, then give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, then subscribe to my channel. And if you would like a session with me using emotional reset therapy, then follow the details below and you can contact me. Thank you for watching.